what really bugs me is a lot of Muslims are liking her videos, are subscribing to her channel.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. So I had a British Pakistani woman make a hit piece on me yesterday, unprovoked and out of nowhere. I've seen her stuff pop up in my feed previously, but I just ignored it as she seemed like yet another grifter trying to use the ex-Muslim and the anti-Muslim angle for clout. Let's look at how this clout chaser describes herself on her channel. She calls herself the star of the BBC show The Apprentice season 15. No, sweetheart, you were an extra on the show. Alan Sugar is the star. The most hilarious thing about the video she did on me is she reacted to a short that I did in which I never even said a word. And then she proceeded to assume things and make up outright lies about what the text in the video meant. And she probably thinks because I'm a niqabi, I'm an easy target and that I won't respond, as most predators do. Firstly, let's play my short that she based her whole video on and made up lies about. So here it's very clear to see I'm contemplating what life as an ex-Muslim would be like for me personally, with the supposed benefits being able to drink alcohol, date, dress revealingly and believe in something apart from Allah, which to me is equivalent to not believing in God at all. Then I proceed to show how life is for me, again personally as a Muslim, which involves no intoxicants, being married with kids, dressing modestly, etc. Notice how I did not say anything about divorced women or non-Muslims whatsoever, which is what this clout chaser based her whole rant on. Let's play her wacky breakdown of my video, and let's remember, even though she has a massive ego, she's not an authority on anything, especially not Islam.
Unfortunately, the video clip that I'm about to show you guys, the majority of Muslims are gonna love this video. They're just not gonna understand what is so ridiculous about it. Is the majority of Muslims will see this lady and they'll be like, oh, she's a Muslim and she's covered, she's so amazing. If we just break down the message that she's actually saying in this short, what annoyed me is that she is assuming this whole short she's made is about ex-Muslims, and she's automatically assuming that if someone's an ex-Muslim now, that means they don't believe in God anymore. No, that just means they don't believe in Islam. That doesn't mean they don't believe in God. There are many ex-Muslims who change religion or they have no religion and they still believe in God. So that's the first ridiculous assumption that she's just made. Second thing is, what I really didn't like is any kind of prayer that people do to take, and then they take pictures and videos of it for whatever reason. I'm completely against that. And as a Muslim lady, this woman should have known much better. You know, when you pray, it's for God, it's to God, it's not for show. To create her YouTube channel and shorts, she's doing something that's very, I would have thought, holy and for God, or should be for God, and she's doing this for her YouTube channel. I'm completely against this. I pray as well, but I don't show people that I'm praying, you know. And the other thing about this video is the fact that she's praying is her husband, I'm assuming, or whoever is making the video, is standing in front of her while she's pretending to pray. And you're not supposed to bow down in front of anyone, right? You're Muslim, so regardless of whether you're doing it for the show or not. So this was like, you're saying that you're such a good Muslim and you're knocking other people, but then you're doing stuff that is just ridiculous. And I'm not a scholar, so don't quote me on any of the stuff. And what really bugs me is a lot of Muslims are liking her videos, are subscribing to her channel, and because they see themselves in her, right? You make everyone else look bad and you say you are the righteous person.
Let's address the Islamic side of things first. She's trying to give me a lecture on Islam and being Muslim when she collaborates with ex-Muslims. Plus she said herself that she is not a scholar, so you just need to be quiet. Shut up! She also makes videos idolising known Islamophobes like Tommy Robinson, who have called people of her and my race the P-word slur. As for her checking me for praying in front of a camera, if this brings people to Islam and improves their lives, I think I'll keep doing it, especially if it annoys people like you. It's more wholesome than what you do, ranting, raving and lying. And to be clear, I was bowing to nobody. No one was in front of me holding a camera. I used this tripod to film. Maybe you should invest in one so the videos you do with your tank tops on in your back garden aren't so shaky and you don't have to strain holding your phone in your hand.
Emotional damage.
We all heard her say that she prays also, but in private, so we would assume she's Muslim, right? But this lady is a fence-sitting hypocrite. She's telling me about Islam, but look what she says to people asking if she's Muslim in the comment section of the video she did on me. She says she's confused and can't confirm. She's playing both sides for clout. Plus, she makes videos saying she's ashamed of being Muslim. Make your mind up. You're a middle-aged woman, not a child. Either be Muslim or don't be.
Yeah!
At least other anti-Muslims and ex-Muslims have the guts to own it, unlike you. And yes, I believe if someone leaves Islam, even if it's for a different religion, they are not worshipping the one true God. So that equates to not believing in God to me. Let's debunk more of her lies, where she completely makes up out of thin air that I was supposedly disrespecting divorced women.
And what is some of the other stuff that she says? She talks about, oh, you know, I'm a Muslim and that means that I'm married and I'm settled with my children. What a ridiculous thing to say. What a very irresponsible message to send people. First of all, you get divorced women in Islam as well, right? You get lots of Muslim women who are divorced. Why are you blaming these women? Why are you trying to make out these women are bad because they're divorced? If you're happily married, that's absolutely amazing. But first of all, Islam allows you to get divorced, right? And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, one of his wives, or a few of them, were divorced as well. My understanding is, and I'm not a scholar, so don't quote me on any of the stuff. What has divorce got to do with being a Muslim or not being a Muslim? And why are you making divorced women look bad? It's ridiculous. So you're just saying someone's going to become an ex-Muslim and all of a sudden they're going to get divorced. Someone's going to become an ex-Muslim and all of a sudden they just can't have a satisfied married life. What a ridiculous, stupid thing to say. This lady is just beyond, it's like, you don't make any sense at all.
Clearly this woman flaps her gums and loves the sound of her own voice. You all saw my video. I did not even mention the word divorce. Why did she even go with this angle? Is she herself divorced? I really hope not. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but it would not surprise me. Imagine being married to that. She outright lied and said I'm making divorced women look bad. What nonsense. She falsely and deliberately assumes I'm saying being Muslim means you're married. Let me explain it to you, as you seem to be struggling with basic English. The message was, as opposed to casual relationships, Islam only allows relationships within the boundaries of marriage. What does this have to do with divorce? And let's look at how she's guiding women. She makes diss videos on hijabi sisters saying their husbands are staring at her. Newsflash sis, you're not a supermodel and you're not all that. She also calls for sisters to abandon their roots and copy Western women. Just because you think you're beneath Westerners and pander to them for self-worth, why should we? Go deal with your pick-me insecurities privately and leave Muslim women who are proud of their religion and heritage out of it. Let's look at more of her lies, where she expanded the term ex-Muslim to falsely accuse me of meaning all non-Muslims. You can't make this stuff up.
The biggest thing about this lady is she just assumes that you become a very, very bad person as soon as you become an ex-Muslim, right? You don't believe in God. You start drinking alcohol, or you have sexual relationships outside of marriage. And what else is it? She mentions all these things. Well, first of all, these things, drinking alcohol and having sexual relationships, there are many, many people who call themselves a Muslim who do these things. So that's just a ridiculous assumption that, okay, if you become an ex-Muslim now, you're going to do all these things. That's just ridiculous. If I ever became an ex-Muslim, that doesn't mean automatically I'm going to become some satanic person and I'm going to do all this bad stuff. That these type of videos creates a them versus us situation, which is not healthy. And I do feel like when she's talking about ex-Muslims, a lot of stuff she's talking about is also people who aren't Muslims and who never were. There's an assumption that some religious so-called Muslims make is everyone else is bad and we are right. But that is such an unhealthy mindset to have, especially if you're living in the West. This really, really annoyed me. These kind of things I find really unhelpful. Please, Muslims, open your brain. When you see stuff like this, don't just say, yo, this is amazing because it's a Muslim lady and we're going to click like on her button because what she's saying is right. Really look at is what she's saying, is it really right? Because it's not, it's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. You cannot just assume a Muslim is good, an ex-Muslim is bad, and someone who was never a Muslim is just not a good person.
This lady has zero credibility at this point. How are you going to take clear words that say ex-Muslim and say it means all non-Muslims? It's absolutely ridiculous. And ask yourself, why would my short title becoming ex-Muslim with a question mark trigger her if that's not what she is or considering becoming? Look, sweetheart, you can leave Islam. No one cares. Anyone who leaves is replaced by better or more dedicated people. More people join this religion than leave it. it. You're not important in the grand scheme of things. No one is. What's really strange about this woman is that she's on a mission to demonise Pakistanis and Muslims in exchange for a pat on the back and acceptance from white British non-Muslims. What? And let me be clear, there are good and bad people in all races and religions, Muslim and non-Muslim. And I have nothing against white people. There are approximately 100 million white Muslims globally, and they are all my brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah. But this lady fiercely defends ex-Muslims and non-Muslims like they can do no wrong, and she assumed I'm saying all ex-Muslims are bad people. Let me be clear, as Muslims we believe all ex-Muslims are misguided and will fall into sin. It's in our religious scriptures, so who cares what you think? She's made previous hit piece videos on Pakistanis that she has made private because of the pushback she got. She's made videos titled she's ex-Muslim and she's left Islam, then changed the title and thumbnail to fellow Muslims, again because of negative feedback she received. Once more, she's a total fence-sitter playing both sides for clout. And in regard to our point that Muslims drink and sleep around also, these are not practicing Muslims. They're cultural Muslims like you, that use Islam when it's convenient and it benefits them. Practicing Muslims don't do these things, and that goes for disgusting things such as grooming gangs and bachabazi too. This is not Islam at all. Let's look at her talking more nonsense about my views on the West, where she makes the false claim that I hate living in the West.
This lady is living in the West. She's living in the West, and then she hates everything there is about living in the West. There's some other videos of her that I've seen, and I may do other videos on some of the other bits that she's said and done, where she's like, oh, you know, UK or whatever, Western countries are so bad, and you know, she is actually actively trying to look to get out of UK. Fair enough to her, but for me it's just like, yeah, but you were born here as well, and surely you've met good people, surely you've met good humans in your life that you've lived in UK. Surely not everyone has been a horrible person, and if you haven't met good people, stop assuming that everybody is bad. If your circle yourself was not good enough, if you didn't go out there in the world and find good people, I'm sorry, that don't project that onto the rest of us. I'm sorry, this is very, very irresponsible video. And yes, you're getting the YouTube likes and subscribers because the kind of people you're attracting, I would say, are the extremists. Those people have the extremist type of mindset, the very narrow-minded view of this is we are right, everybody is wrong.
She has no clue what she's talking about, but it seems like she's been watching a lot of my videos. I've collaborated on my channel with Christians, Jewish people and non-Muslims, and we've had respectful conversations and agreed on a lot of things. Plus, I've had friends and associates from various backgrounds and religions throughout my life. My grandparents came to the UK. She looks a little older, so maybe her parents came here, but she'll know that most South Asians just blend in. Bloody no, but why? Bloody no! I've even made videos on how living in the UK is better than living in Pakistan. Not to pander to people, I was just being honest. I'm fully integrated into Britain, but I keep my Pakistani and Muslim identity intact. That's my choice. I love my religion and I respect my Pakistani roots. Unlike her, who seems ashamed of it from how she parrots right-wing bigoted propaganda that is used to discriminate against people that look like her and me. And that could not be more evident from how she calls everyone who watches my content an extremist.
You offended 1 billion Muslim women. No, I didn't.
Look sis, just because people don't pander and bootlick like you doesn't mean they are extremists. That's a horrible accusation Islamophobes use to generalise and demonise all Muslims.
Do you look at me as the Muslim basher?
And FYI, they're never going to accept you, no matter how much you sell out your own race and religion for clout. She even fence sits on the Palestine situation in case it enrages her overlords. Totally shameless.
You know, I'm a supporter of Palestine. I'm not afraid to say it.
I have to be clear, I respect the country I live in. The UK is where I'm from. I've lived here for most of my life. The reason my family and I want to leave is due to what kids are being taught. We don't feel like it's age appropriate or healthy for kids to learn about certain things until they are much older. This woman called me stupid numerous times and made up complete lies about me. I tried to go easy on her by just responding to her slander, but if she chooses to do more videos on me, I won't be holding back. I'll do a deep dive into her content and respond accordingly, but for now, I'll leave it there. At the end of the day, despite her fence-sitting and clout chasing, she says she's Muslim. I think she's a mother also, so Islamically I still consider her a sister, and I urge viewers not to harass her or abuse her in any way. Plus, with everything going on in the world, Muslims shouldn't be beefing online. I don't want to fight with people, but she chose to attack me, so I had to defend myself. This predatory attitude of targeting hijabi and niqabi women because we're seen as easy targets has to stop. I don't know what inspired this lady to throw shade my way. She talked about views, likes and subscribers. I have a small channel. She has an even smaller channel. Why does that bother her? It's social media. It's not that deep. All I know is hate comes from beneath. If you're going to hate, keep hating. Just don't make up lies. I hope God gives you all the views and subs you're so desperate for, that you even surpass me. If my videos annoy you, I don't care. My aim is to bring people to Islam, whereas you're kissing anti-Muslim backsides for clout. I have the moral high ground. I hope you're happy now that you got your attention. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
What really bugs me is a lot of Muslims are liking her videos, are subscribing to her channel.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.